Let me ask you something. Actually, I have a lot of things to ask you today. It may be just me. This may be complete projection. Not too sure. Does it seem to you like there are just more people in your life, maybe things you see online, whatever people you work with, are more people like into the Christmas spirit this year? Like, are they looking forward to it more this year than ever before? I seem to get that general sense. And I don't know, like I said, this may be completely imaginary. I don't know yet, and there's no way to really quantify this, but seems to me that they're more into it. Proof of that last night. They lit up that big tree in Rockefeller Center last night. We'll talk about that at the end of it. But we got a lot of things to talk about today. Why do Democrats love drug boats? Well, it's because this particular administration is blowing them up. That's why. This is one of the greatest stories of the year so far. It's amazing how they've gotten themselves so twisted, and by Democrats, I mean the media too, about this administration that they're actually defending narco-terrorists, the cocaine cowboys, and it's great to see. But just so you don't think I'm a shill for any particular political party and all that other crap, Trump's got a problem, a big, big problem, and it means the Republicans are going to get smoked in these midterms if they don't figure out this affordability problem, the A word. They're starting to understand it, starting to talk about it finally. They don't get it. The messaging is not good, and they better figure it out fast. So we'll talk about that as well, but a lot to cover, so we'll see. It won't be all swampy crap, I promise you. Thanks for finding me, Wicked Radio Podcast, all platforms. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this. I do the live stream every single day because I'm a radio guy. I'm better live. I mean, it gets recorded anyway and then goes on replay on X and YouTube and Facebook and the audio podcast. But I take clips from this and I put it onto YouTube, the Facebook channel, TikTok as well. I know TikTok. Take a look at the YouTube channel for Wicked Radio because that is, people like the clips of these different things. It's the kind of society we have right now. So I'll take the complete show and I put clips on there. Find the YouTube channel and do me a favor and give me a follow on there because I just really started to concentrate on that in the past week and it's been growing by leaps and bounds. So I appreciate you on that one. Let's get to it. Enough of me talking. Why do Democrats love narco-terrorists? Well, you know why. The answer is obvious. It's because the Trump administration is blowing them up. But here's what's been great. This has been fascinating, a truly amazing story. You might have heard about this one, the double tap controversy. Some are calling it a hoax. What's double tap? Why is that happening? It's not just an internet term, so it's apparently a military term or a media made-up term about blowing up a target. Didn't get all of them, so you go back and you blow them up again. Well, the Washington Post, gee, there's a shocker, started this story accusing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth of imposing a double tap, making the order back in September for one of these narco drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. Blew them up with a drone or a missile attack, whatever the hell it was. Didn't get them all. There were 2 survivors, so they went back again. They threw another missile at them. My take? So what? I want to quadruple tap, quintuple tap them. I don't give a damn. You're bringing narcotics into my country. Blow them the hell up, in or out of the boat, wherever you have to. That's my take. I don't care. Here's the amazing thing. Most people, these are very, very popular nationwide, according to polls, if you want to listen to them. According to the media, we can't do, this is terrible. We're attacking citizens. So, here's the first part. Washington Post comes out with this story attacking the administration of doing this, and it's a war crime, and it's terrible, and well, it seems as though other media outlets are attacking the Washington Post, namely the New York Times. So we have a fake news outlet against a fake news outlet about this issue, which is fantastic. But anyway, here was ABC talking about it. This is Martha Raddatz. And in here, pretty much admits they were drug boats.
And tonight, new information. According to a source familiar with the incident, the 2 survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets. A JAG officer was also giving legal advice. So again, David, that video will be key, and Admiral Bradley will be on the Hill tomorrow behind closed doors.
Admiral Bradley apparently was the guy on the scene, the guy that was in charge of the strike, and it wasn't Hegseth, so that report is already falling apart. But this is just one of the beautiful fallout pieces from this entire thing. So again, remember, key to the story, the Washington Post started this whole thing. It's a war crime. The double tap. Pete Hegseth did this. Well, New York Times was reporting that the story from the Washington Post with that allegation was completely false. Here's a little bit of a quote. Mr. Hegseth's directive did not specifically address what should happen if the first missile turned out to not completely get the job done. Beautiful. Listen, when you have a fraudulent propagandist news outlet debunking another fraudulent propagandist news outlet, you're winning. That's a great, great thing. If we can get more of that going, that's good for all of us. That's good for the American citizenry. But here's the other beautiful thing, and this is just incredible. The Democrats happen to be so twisted and so bent about this administration that anything they do, they will take the opposite side. This is why you see so many people asking the question, why are the Democrats defending these narco-terrorists? Why are the Democrats like embracing cocaine cowboys, which everybody with half a brain cell knows exactly what they are? And they'll try to they'll try to make this argument that says, no, they're citizens and they're not. But then you got this guy, who comes on the air the other day and he says, well, they're not. The people on the boats, they're not narco-terrorists. They're just drug people. You couldn't make this up.
One of the factors that drives youth in the United States is demand. And most narco traffickers are not in those boats. They pay people to do that. And usually people who are not significantly involved with narco trading, it's the way they make money.
They're not, as he said, narco terrorists. They're just narco people. He doesn't even believe what he's saying. He was sent out the talking points to try to defend this. That's Jack Reed, by the way. He's a senator. Here's another one. Now, this is long-winded. You have to get to the end, though. You got to listen to this guy. This is another Democrat, Adam Smith. He's actually on the Foreign Affairs Committee, but listen to his justification.
Was this self-defense, and how do the rules of international waters play into whether this was a war crime?
Yeah, in my opinion, no. This is not self-defense. And no matter where you do the strike, if it's not self-defense, then it's illegal. And look, I have a lot of sympathy for the general idea that when we send our service members out into combat, they got some very difficult decisions to make. When you look at what was going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you're stopping someone, do they have a gun? Do they have a suicide vest? Are they a threat? When you're in the middle of an insurgency with roadside bombs and car bombs and all of that, even in the aftermath of the Afghanistan pullout, when we had that suicide bomber kill 13 service members and hundreds of people in Kabul, and we did that strike against a car that we thought was a threat that turned out not to be a threat, I have some sympathy for that. But people on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean carrying cocaine are not a direct threat to the lives of our service members or Americans.
Sorry that was so long. I wanted you to hear that in complete thing. Democrat Adam Smith. Again, there's that term. Again, what do you always look for when they all use the same term? Drug people. They're not narco terrorists. They're no threat to the American citizenry. They're narco people on those boats. Okay. Try to tell that to the family that has lost a daughter or a son or anybody or a parent to the narcotics that come into this country. Try to tell it to them and try to tell me that they're not a threat. I don't care. You're a threat to my country. I don't care. And specifically, yes, I voted for this. I don't want just a double tap. I want a triple tap. I want a quadruple tap, a quintuple tap. I don't care how many taps it takes to go back and kill every freaking one of them because you're bringing narcotics into my country. I don't care. This was... I have one... There's two takeaways from this that make sense. The only two that I can figure out that make sense. First and is the most obvious, that the Democrats are twisted into this and they have to do these rambling interviews and they run to their media friends to attack this, somehow this thing that's been ignored for years because it's the Trump administration. It's their political opponent and they have to attack it, whatever. That's the most obvious. There's something else, and I mean this. I honestly am asking the question, how many of these Democrats are completely funded by drug cartels? You have to ask the question, too. Or anybody. If it was a Republican saying the same thing, I don't care who the hell they are. What kind of influence do the South American or Mexican drug cartels actually have on our elected representatives? It's a completely, totally fair question. You have to ask it now. You have to. It's too obvious. They're running to the media, attacking blowing up the drug boats, calling them, no, they're drug citizens. They're, you shouldn't, they're just not, they're not cartels. You have to ask the question now. Are they completely compromised, whoever's saying this? It's totally fair. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're a bad person for asking that question. That's unpatriotic. How can you ask that of our elected representatives? Oh, easy. You've got pharmaceutical companies who are just legal drug terrorists funding them. We know that. I mean, that's public information. We know that. Why would it be so crazy of a thought to think that drug cartels are funding many, indirectly, a lot of laundered money of our elected representatives? I'm not accusing any specific ones. I'm just asking the question. I'm just seeking information. Is it possible? Why would that not be possible? And then the other obvious reason where they just hate the Trump administration, so they'll just, anything they do. Trump cures cancer. And then you have Adam Smith going on MSNBC. Well, it's not technically cancer. It's, this is cancer justice. They're cancer, maybe cancer's not so, maybe there are benefits to cancer. That would happen. One of those freaking lunatics would actually do an interview and say that. All right, did Trump respond to this, to all the media outlets and the Democrat senators and Congress people attacking the attack of the drug boats? Of course he did.
Mr. President, the boat strikes, if it is found that survivors were actually killed while clinging on to that boat, should Secretary Hegseth, Admiral Bradley, or others be punished?
I think you're going to find that this is war, that these people were killing our people by the millions, actually, if you look over a few years. I think last year we lost close to 300,000 people were killed. That's not mentioning all the families. Have you seen what happens with the families of not only the people killed, the people that are trying to get their son or their daughter off of this poison that they've been fed? I think you're going to find that there's a very receptive ear to doing exactly what they're doing, taking out those boats. And
oh, yeah, there's a receptive view to it. Hell yeah, there is. You can follow any poll you want to follow, and when they ask this specific question, you're in favor of it. And it does have a high favorability rate. But that's a poll. Can you trust them? Can you not? Just talk to people. Just talk to American families. Make it general. Hey, would you like to see narcotics not in our country? Well, yeah, I think that would be a good thing. Yeah, we don't want narcotics on the streets. End of story. That's exactly what it is. Because this and other means, this is exactly how it's coming in. This was part of the mandate you hear people talking about. What did you vote for? I want to close the border. I want to make American streets safer, and I want the economy to be better. This issue with the cocaine cowboys bringing these narcotics and the narcotic making materials into our country is all tied into that. Yet somehow you've got these elected representatives going on TV saying, "No, they're not. This isn't something we should be involved with." Again, you ask your own questions. This is about you making up your own mind. I'm asking my own question. This is my prerogative. How many of these people in Congress are funded by cartels? I don't know. We'll find out. Speaking of Trump and speaking of the economy, he's got a big problem. What? You only defend Trump. No, I attack him every single time when he's doing something stupid. Happens to be doing a lot of right things, but he's got a big problem on this one. He does not. He gets it. But the messaging is not quite there yet on the A word, affordability. Now, this is a big one. So let's go back to, was it last month? It was definitely before Thanksgiving. I think it was, I'll call it like 3 weeks ago. Do you remember the outrage? And maybe you hated it too at first, but we talked about it. And I tried to talk you off the ledge on this one. Do you remember the Zoran Mamdani, the communist incoming mayor of New York City? Do you remember the meeting at the White House? Do you remember the outrage and what that was all about? Why? Why would Trump do this? Why do you have a communist in the White House? Because he's starting to get it and he understands exactly what that's all about. He had Mamdani in the White House to try to steal the thunder away from the most important issue right now that is going to have to be solved. Otherwise, you're going to lose Congress. You're going to lose the next presidential election. You're going to get smoked in these midterms. If you don't figure out affordability, let me tell you something. I'm not happy either that an actual communist, don't let them tell you it's any other term, he's an actual communist, is the mayor of New York City, or incoming mayor, because he is. He actually is. I mean, government control of the means of production, that's communism. Freezing rent. It is. Here's why he got elected. Because he freaking gets it. First of all, the guy is very intelligent. He's very charismatic. He understands how to campaign these days, not like these old fools that are on Capitol Hill now. video messages out in the street. This, by the way, Mamdani, we haven't talked about him in a while, got elected, immediately started asking for money. Immediately. Like, they don't even know they're getting conned. And he's to the tune of millions of dollars in donations. He gets it. He understands how to win because he understands one very important issue, affordability. Now, this is why I say this. Talk to any kid. I have 2 kids in their early 20s that are looking to get into life, right? If you're out of that zone, I strongly recommend talking to younger type people of that age. They will all tell you the same thing. And it's scary, but it's also something that should be taken to heart because once you understand this, you understand everything. They don't care. You tend to think it's like, oh, they're young kids. They're automatically going to vote for Democrats. Not so. They're going to vote for anybody that can help them afford their life. They'll all say the same thing. Any kid of that age, late teens, early 20s, even into their 30s, this is what they say, and I'm paraphrasing here. I don't care who gets elected. I just want to be able to afford property. That's what they'll say. Now, given that information, what you know about young people, who are they going to vote for? Somebody like this Mamdani guy in New York who's talking about that all the time? No, he's completely full of shit. I mean, his plans aren't going to work. I get that. But he's talking about it, and he knows how to communicate it, right? Or most of what you have on the Republican side, where you've got old dudes who are insider stock trading, who are already rich, that are just they're just selling out the future of the country. These kids know that. They understand that. That's why this is so important. That's why this is the most, and so far, falling flat on their face. Now, when Trump talked to Mamdani and had him in the White House, that was the first step in stealing that affordability issue from him. Have him in. Steal his issue. Do it. That was smart. The messaging ain't quite there yet, and they're going to have to get on board. Trump gets it. That's the good news, I think. Everybody else in his party, clueless. Look what just happened. So all these special elections. Look at Tennessee. The guy that was running against that lunatic chick from Nashville who says she hates her city, he won. But she won Nashville. She won the city of Nashville. She says, I hate your city. She literally said, I hate this city, and she won. They voted for her. Why? Because they saw her talking about affordability. Every one of these districts, every one of these counties in Tennessee was leaning left because that's the issue. They don't care what party they're from. The young voters in this country want to be able to afford stuff, and they can't right now. There's a lot of reasons behind that. What led to this? That doesn't matter anymore. These young kids in this country don't care what led to it. They want an answer, and they want it fixed. They're starting to talk about it. There was a big affordability meeting at the White House apparently yesterday. There were some cabinet members. There was Trump there in the Oval Office. There were some senators, whatever. They're starting to talk about it. They still have a massive problem.
They're great con people. It's like the Inflation Reduction Act. And after they got it approved, because everybody said inflation reduction, they admitted it had nothing to do with reducing inflation. It's a con job.
Yes, true, right. He's right. This all led up to in this past 4 years of printing money. Inflation's out of control. No one cares anymore. Get off of that and start getting to real life solutions that people understand, that they can wrap their heads around. That's why that Mamdani communist won in New York, because he offered a plan, even though it's not going to work, that people understand. They say, okay, well, maybe that's something I can vote for that can help. That was the number one issue. They've got a massive problem. He specifically has a massive problem with this until they figure this thing out. They have to get the messaging out, and it's all about affordability, or they're going to get killed in the midterms, or whoever's come. And if that happens, get ready for more impeachment hearings. That's what'll happen. It's all about affordability from here on out. So what can you do? Oh, I'm just a citizen. How do I get the message? The good news is, I think that's a president. I think this is an administration that actually listens. I really do. I think they actually listen to the people, which is why they're starting to talk about affordability now. They just need to get better at it. And maybe they're ramping that up right now with that meeting. They'll hear you. Get on social media, get loud, talk to your local elected representatives, get somebody who has the ear of Trump to get on there and to start having him talk about this. There's nothing else that really matters. They're going to get killed in the midterms if they don't get things affordable again. It's as simple as that. He gets that, but he's got to get all those other clowns in the party to get the lazy, stupid people off their asses to start talking about it too at the local level. That's what he's got to start to do. But despite all that, in a long-winded kind of way, I opened up the show talking about this, and this may be complete total projection. I literally may have made this up just in my head, but it really seems to be a difference this year. Are you feeling like, maybe not you, but you're noticing other people really excited about Christmas and the holidays this year, maybe even New Year's? Seems to be. I don't know. Maybe that's all. And you're wondering if that's important or not. And I think it is. In my opinion, it is. It's good for your community when people are excited about things. They get that holiday spirit, as we always talk about it, getting ready for Christmas. It's good for your community. It's good for your country. It's good for people. It's good for the economy. It's good for everything. Big part of that is what we were talking about yesterday. Last night was the lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in New York City. And even if you don't go there, if you've never seen it, you've never done anything, this is like the national, there's one in Washington, but really this is the national Christmas tree. This lighting officially kicks off the Christmas season. And people are excited.
Are we ready? Let's do it. Start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's a nice tree. Yes, is it silly? Is it ceremonial? Does it matter? Hell yeah, it matters. Absolutely it does. Christmas matters. The holidays matter. I don't know. Do that, though. That's our homework assignment. Just look around and listen to people. See what they're saying. They're more excited than ever, it seems, at least over the past few, compared to the last few years about Christmas. That's what I've observed so far. I don't know, and I think that's a good thing. All right, I'm out of material. You have to get on with your day. So do I. I got stuff to do, too. But thanks for finding Wicked Radio, the live stream, and the podcast. Replays later on, wherever you like to find it. Don't forget, clips on YouTube and whatchamacallit, TikTok as well. I know. That's where the kids are. I'm just saying. But also the replay, the complete show on all those channels as well, and the audio podcast too. So thanks for finding me. The follows, the likes, the shares, and all that crap. Who knows what's going to be in the news tomorrow, but we'll talk about it. I'll talk you through this stuff and what's really going on. With that said, make it a wicked awesome Thursday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.